You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, and your Locked On Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. In this episode, and my rather perturbed attitude for the next 29 minutes, is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150, people, with any $5 winning bet. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on. That's FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started. This was dumb. This was stupid. And for any of the kids that might be staying up late to watch this postcast, stupid's supposed to be a bad word nowadays, but you know what else it is? It's accurate to describe this Phillies loss. Stupid. Your manager, Rob Thompson, who I will say was not exactly perfect in this game, well, he was at least perfect against the more often than not wrong umpiring crew that the Phillies had to deal with tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. Three big things. Number one, okay, Bryce Harper getting thrown out in the first inning is stupid. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let's examine it for a second here, okay? Bryce Harper strikes out on 3 pitches. The second pitch of the at-bat he took for a strike. It was a ball, not in the zone. He didn't like it, and then he flailed away at a pitch that was also low in the zone. He gets rung up after swinging at strike 3, obviously. He then, during the broadcast, they were describing it as he spiked his helmet. He threw his helmet down. It wasn't an egregious taking the helmet off, slamming it on the ground. He still got fined. The umpire pointed out he's going to get fined, so he gets fined for something stupid. Fine, he gets fined for it. He then tries to get a little bit more of his money's worth, Bryce Harper, by arguing with the home plate umpire just a little bit more over that call. It wasn't wildly disrespectful. It wasn't getting in his face. It wasn't yelling. It was literally a conversation being had between a batter, or in this case, a 2-time MVP, Bryce Harper, and the home plate umpire. It made no sense for Brian Walsh to throw out Bryce Harper. If Bryce Harper spikes his, literally slams his helmet again, he should not have even did what he did. He shouldn't have. However, if you're an umpire, you really got to take into consideration who the people are there to see. And I hate blaming umpires for anything. I don't like blaming officials and any other sport. I don't like blaming umpires, blah, blah, blah. But this was just stupid. When you have a guy like Bryce Harper, who has his best numbers, as one might think in a place like Coors Field for a power hitter like Bryce Harper, has his best numbers at Coors Field, more so than any ballpark he's played 30 games in his career. Bryce Harper, in his career, is hitting .349 with a .436 on-base percentage at Coors Field with 7 home runs. So would I have liked Bryce Harper to get 3 or maybe even 4 more plate appearances in the game tonight when it was just a 1-run game? Yeah, I would have liked Bryce Harper to get at least 3 or 4 more plate appearances on a night like tonight in such a close game. As the umpires continue to display their stupidity in this game tonight, unfortunately, you had a close play where JT Realmuto was able to beat out a throw. Close play, fine. Rob Thompson reviews it. Yeah, let's check that. Rob Thompson's right. You have another play later in the game. This time the Phillies playing defense. Alec Boe makes a great play there at first base. The umpires rule him safe. Should have been out. Rob Thompson checks it. Yeah, let's review that. They review it. What do you know? Surprise, surprise. The umpires are wrong again. And then the straw that broke, forget about the straw. The camel's back was broken in the first inning when Brian Walsh threw out Bryce Harper so stupidly and egregiously. So then you fast forward, you get into the extra frames there. JT Realmuto's up at the plate. You have an opportunity to get something going for the Phillies there. You have ducks on the pond, as they say. And unfortunately, JT Realmuto, in what should have been an opportunity to have a 3-1 count to JT Realmuto with runners in scoring position and one of your hottest hitters at the plate, they decide to say that JT Realmuto offered at a 2-1 slider, I believe it was. Yeah, 2-1 slider. And instead of it being a 3-1 count, it moves to a 2-2 count. And the Phillies, unfortunately, have JT Realmuto roll over on one to first base to end that threat. In that inning, Kyle Schwarber also struck out looking. And I got to give Mears credit, who was pitching at that point for the Rockies. He played Kyle Schwarber beautifully. I mean, he had a great strategy in that. But anyway, Kyle Schwarber struck out, bottom line. Struck out looking. Then JT steps up there with an opportunity to get the Phillies in front, and he gets a really rough call. It's a one-run ball game. Maybe if Bryce Harper is playing in this game, Jose Alvarado has a little bit of wiggle room to allow a solo home run. Not that he ever should. He gave it up. They knew exactly what he was throwing in that situation. Stallings went up there looking for that sinker inside, got the sinker inside, and he blasted it 427 feet to the left field stands. You go into that 10th inning then, and Phillies just couldn't capitalize on the opportunity there. Phillies couldn't capitalize on the opportunity in the 11th, and sooner rather than later, the Rockies were going to do it, and that's exactly what they did. Very frustrating, very stupid loss. So the first thing I look at is, unfortunately, the umpires in this one. I had my head down making a note. Actually, no, the way it went was they went to break during Harper's ejection in that first inning. And I'm watching Harper, and I see him, put his helmet down, kind of throw it down in frustration. My first thought was he was more pissed at just the fact that he struck out so quickly on 3 pitches. And then I was like, no, he's probably pissed at the umpire because that second pitch was kind of BS. So then I'm watching it, and then I'm like, please don't get thrown out in the first inning, Bryce Harper. Please don't get thrown out in the first inning. So they mentioned as soon as they come back from break, Bryce Harper got thrown out while we were at break. I'm like, great. So I'm waiting for the heated argument. I'm waiting for Bryce Harper at some point to kick his helmet or something, really get in the face of Brian Walsh there, the home plate umpire. And he doesn't. He literally is just standing there in the batter's box, and he's chirping. He's still talking. The place sounded like it was 70% full of Phillies fan at Coors Field today. That's what it sounded like. It didn't sound like a Rockies home game. It sounded like a Phillies away game. It sounded like, Citizens Bank Park West, I guess. I don't know. And I'm listening, and I'm like, oh, okay. And Brian Walsh has to understand that people are there to see Bryce Harper play. And the last thing anyone wants to see is Bryce Harper get thrown out of the game for something he doesn't deserve to get thrown out of the game for. It's just absolutely terrible. And then, oh, God, who was it at first base tonight? Who was the first base umpire tonight? Who didn't ring him up, but got JT Realmuto? Edwin Moscaso. He gave JT Realmuto, said JT Realmuto offered at that 2-1 slider when he clearly did not. And you saw the entire Phillies coaching staff and the entire dugout really go, oh, what? And Rob Thompson, he was a little pissed off, and rightfully so. A couple of things here also. Number 2, let me get away from the umps for a second, okay? I know that the chat is hopping, really hopping with people talking about everything, but Rob Thompson. Edmundo Sosa, why take it? Edmundo Sosa has been one of your hottest hitters. I'm giving him the opportunity to hit. You saw, by the way, one last thing on Bryce Harper, just the fallout, because now it's got me thinking about replacements here. So with Harper going out, Bohm then all of a sudden has to move from third to first. Merrifield goes from left to third. Pache has to go from center field to left field, and Johan Rojas has to come off the bench and now play for you in center field. He had a nice cozy day off. But now, because you threw out one guy, 4 different players are affected. 5 if you include Bryce Harper. Cool. Way to go. It's the umpire show, folks. It's just, it's an American tradition. Memorial Day, we thank everyone for their service, obviously. We relax. We try to watch some baseball. And, you can either watch a 2-time MVP or you can watch umpires. How exciting is that? To watch umpires have a wildly inconsistent strike zone and call swings when they're not swings at all. Huh? America, umps suck. Anyway, so I move on. Rob Thompson, I don't know why I would have to take out Edmundo Sosa at that point. I don't. He's one of the hottest hitters. He's figuring it out. I let him rip, man. I let him go up there and rip. And unfortunately, he did not go with that in the later innings. He had Brandon Marsh hit against Mears. Pinch hit for Edmundo Sosa. Marsh ended up striking out on a high fastball. It was a rough one. It was an absolute rough one. I don't know why Rob Thompson would go that direction. Obviously, the lefty-righty matchup is what he was going for. I get it. Sosa's been figuring it out. I let him rip in that situation, so I don't like it. The third thing I'll get into is Gregory Soto. And if I'm talking about both these guys, I got to talk about Jose Alvarado as well. Alvarado looked like he was absolutely on cruise control in that inning. Hoffman pitched the 8th inning, so they flipped it, and they had Alvarado come out and pitch the 9th. He has to face the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters. Beck, he strikes him out on 3 pitches, got him to flail at a cutter inside. It was a beautiful thing. Then Goodman goes up there. He's looking at a sinker inside, a 7-pitch at bat. No problem there. You got 10 pitches. You got 2 strikeouts. Then Stallings goes up there, and he comes up with the pinch hit. He's sitting dead red on a first-pitch sinker. He gets that first-pitch sinker low in the zone and just tattoos that baseball 427 feet. It's going to happen occasionally. It's the first blown save of the season for Jose Alvarado. Then next man up, after Ruiz pitched fairly well there in the 10th inning. I also don't mind, by the way, on the road, intentionally walking the first base runner, or the first hitter, I should say. So you set up a force at any base, essentially, and you could obviously turn 2 rather quickly. So I don't mind that move at all. The Phillies pulled that off, and it helps Ruiz get out of that inning there in the 10th. But then in the 11th, Gregory Soto came in. They, again, intentionally walked back. The run doesn't matter. All you got to do is score 1 run. They get first and second in that situation with no out. Jake Cave gives you an out. Former Philly Jake Cave gives you an out by attempting to bunt when he does not bunt. So they retire him quickly on 4 pitches. He swings over top a slider. Then McMahon goes up there. He gets a walk, and now I'm nervous. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tovar steps up. Already got a couple of hits on the night, and he gives you the game-winning, maybe it was a double, but I think it goes up as a single, RBI single to end the game and give the Rockies a 3-2 victory. Gregory Soto takes the loss. I'm just really, really pissed off. One other thing, going back on Rob Thompson, I mentioned all the names that just shifted. Cody Clemens didn't come up, I don't think, until extra innings. I don't think he got his first at bat until, he pinch hit for Christian Pache. So if you have Cody Clemens on the bench, why, instead of shuffling the deck like that? Cody Clemens played really well for you at first. Actually, I've mentioned this many times. When I talk about Bryce Harper's the best defensive first baseman for the Phillies since, Rico Brogna or even Travis Lee, Cody Clemens was actually a pretty good defensive first baseman last year in the many opportunities that he had to play first base for the Phillies. If he's just sitting there on the bench, why make all those adjustments? I mean, you end up burning Rojas. He has to come into the game now, and then everybody shifts around a little bit. Cody Clemens almost cost you in extra innings with that horrendous throw he made wide of Alec Boehm. That was a bit of a rough one. It was in the 10th. It didn't cost the Phillies. It almost did, but it didn't, fortunately. But that's another one that didn't make sense to me. I guess he just wanted to get Rojas more ABs. Guess he didn't want Clemens going up against the lefty. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I guess that's what he was going for. But to me, just such a stupid. Let me finish the open with this. I understand the Phillies are going to lose games. I know that they've created this amazing aura of confidence, and rightfully so, when they're doing incredible things, like having their best stretch through 35 games ever. Since 1892. Okay. They're having their best start to the season ever in franchise history. I understand it's not going to be all gravy, and you had an opportunity with the Braves losing tonight to go up in the division 7 games on the Atlanta Braves. That would have been fantastic, right? Before June, you're up 7 games on the Atlanta Braves. I understand they're going to lose, but one thing that's really tough is I'd rather the Phillies lost 10-0 tonight than the Phillies lose in the way they did with just stupidity. Getting thrown. Like, I look at the umpires before I look at Gregory Soto, before I look at Jose Alvarado in tonight's game. You're going to have close games. For the umpires to compound the problem, that's just dumb. Dumb, stupid umpiring, basically. I'd rather the Rockies just come out and start mashing on Christopher Sanchez. And we'll get to some of the good things that we saw tonight. But I'd rather that happen than the umpires just be really, 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 really stupid. That's what I'd rather do. I'd rather take a loss knowing that, well, Philly just didn't have it today, that kind of thing, than the umpires suck at their job. That's what I'd rather have. Isn't that fun? I think we're having fun. Hey, there was a couple of good things. One more historical thing, as a matter of fact, for the Phillies. And I'm really excited to talk about it. And we're going to talk about it when we come back in a second here. You are Locked On Phillies Postcast. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys subscribe. Before I even hit the break, thank you. Let me say thank you to you wonderful people. Subs have been up over the last couple of days. Views have been up over the last couple of days. Likes have been up over the last couple of days. For the bottom of my heart, thank you on behalf of everyone that works this channel for Locked On Sports Philadelphia. I appreciate you guys helping this channel grow as quickly as it has in our first couple of weeks, month and a half of getting underway. So thank you. I appreciate that. We'll be back in a few. You're Locked On Phillies Postcast. Let me tell you guys about Ibotta. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys. Got to get Ibotta. So you can make sure that you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. You could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip. That flight you've been eyeing up, or that fancy dinner you've been craving, you got to get Ibotta. Other apps, they give you points that don't really amount to much. You know what I'm talking about. With Ibotta, though, you just add your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get real cold, hard cash that you can cash out to your bank account with PayPal or also with gift cards. Join over 50 million users who realize how wonderful Ibotta is and earn cash back every time you shop from over 2,700 brands and retailers, including all your favorite grocery stores, as well as Lowe's. I know I can use that. Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and so much more. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners and our viewers $5 for just trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB when you register an account on Ibotta. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to get started and earning cash back right now with Locked On MLB. Use promo code Locked On MLB when you download the app and create an account. Ibotta, that's Ibotta. IBOTTA. You see it at the bottom of the screen right there in the Google Play or App Store, and make sure you use promo code Locked On MLB. Love telling you guys about Supply House. We've talked about it before. Get supplies from the sites that made your skilled trades even easier. SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. So take advantage. Need help with an order? Get an expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. That's what Supply House brings to the table. Pros of the skilled trades, you know what they can do? They can get competitive edge. Get the competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. All right. Let me get a couple of nice things in here, okay? One, JT Realmuto had 2 hits tonight. That's cool. One, they tried to rob him from those umpires. Okay, I'm off the umps. I'm getting off the umps at this point, okay? JT Realmuto now has a 14-game hitting streak. The last Phillies catcher to have a 14-game hitting streak. It's actually a record, which is bonkers, considering like Darren Daulton was here. Carlos Ruiz was here. You even had a hot start to the career of Chris Coast. He couldn't do it. But JT Realmuto ties Mike Lieberthal and a 20-year-old Phillies catcher record of 14 consecutive games with a hit. That's it. Again, 1883, this franchise has been around since. No catcher has ever had a 15-game hitting streak. That is mind-blowingly wild. But anyway, good for JT Realmuto. Mike Lieberthal said he didn't remember it, according to Tom McCarthy on the broadcast. Mike Lieberthal didn't even remember having a 14-game hitting streak. So there you go. Congratulations to Dave Matthews Band fan, Mike Lieberthal. Okay. One more thing. Nick Castellanos had another home run. That's great, too. Love seeing him get hot at this moment. Absolutely fantastic to see that from him, to get that one home run. Another opportunity, many opportunities that he had today. I thought he was really going to get hot, especially in his last at bat of the game. Thought he might even put the Phillies, give the Phillies a little comfort. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, but he was just 1 for 5 on the day, but was able to come up with his 6th home run of the season. So that's good. Another guy I have to mention is Edmundo Sosa. Now batting .338 with a .427 on-base percentage. I want to shout out my man, Corey Seidman of NBC Sports Philadelphia, who put out the numbers. I know somebody was curious about this the other day. I'll give it to you right now. Edmundo Sosa, after his home run, Corey Seidman put this out on social media. After that home run, it's been 16 games since Trey Turner went down. In that span, numbers actually aren't that far off from where he is right now, but in that span, 16 games, 10 RBIs, 7 extra base hits, 14 runs scored, and he's batting .364. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. And one of the things I also want to say about Edmundo Sosa is that he has had a couple of different plays where he looks like he's a guy that plays every day. Like, and I know he is now because Trey Turner's not here, but what the plays I'm talking about specifically is there was a play in the last series against the Rangers. There was a play tonight where if he doesn't charge the baseball, you're not turning 2, and you might not even get the runner at first. But there has been a number of plays since he's taken over at the shortstop position, since Trey Turner's been out, where he just plays with great heads up, great awareness. And I absolutely love to see that from a guy that is not an everyday player, but getting that opportunity right now. And he had that play for the Phillies tonight. And I love to see that from him. So you have a home run from Nick Castellanos. You have the 2-hit game from JT Realmuto. You have Edmundo Sosa coming up with another 2-hit game for himself and also playing great defense. You love to see that from all these guys. Also, Christopher Sanchez. I thought this was interesting as well. 83 pitches is all Christopher Sanchez had tonight. He went 5 1/3. He would have been in line for his 3rd win of the season. Christopher Sanchez, 5 1/3, allowed 7 hits, scattered those 7 hits, allowed 1 walk, only gave up 1 earned run, struck out 2, and they decided to take him out. A guy that I thought was fantastic tonight was Orion Kerkering. Orion Kerkering, actually, they had him sit down. They had him do the up-down. He gets the 2 outs remaining in the 6th inning when they took out Christopher Sanchez. He only gives up 1 hit over his inning and 2/3 of work tonight. Doesn't record a strikeout either, but gets you those 5 outs and only needs 14 pitches to do so. Orion Kerkering now with a 1.65 ERA. We talked about this maybe 2 days ago about maybe whether or not he's shaky, Orion Kerkering. Looked pretty settled in. 14 pitches, 10 of them were for strikes. He got a hold. Jeff Hoffman got a hold. Jose Alvarado, unfortunately, blew that save. Womp, womp. Jose Ruiz, by the way, 9 pitches. All of them were for strikes. 9 pitches is all he needed to get through that one inning of work that he had tonight. And then we all know what happened with Gregory Soto there in the bottom of the 11th inning. Wah, wah. Let's get to the chat. I want to see what you guys are saying. Before I even started the show, you guys were piping hot up here. Sir Sketchable, you found us. Finally found the correct POSTCAST YouTube channel. Happy to support Far's dog over here. What's up, man? For those that don't know, some people call me Farzy. Anyway, but yeah, thank you, Sir Sketchable. Great to see you in here, brother. IBH, good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Happy Memorial Day weekend to all. Harpa, thanks to those, sir. Absolutely. I second that. John Marinelli, good to be back. Couldn't find this channel. Here we are. Now you got me. Just showed up in your feed yesterday. Nice to have you. Soto is poo-poo. Okay. This is the analysis that you get. I concur. Soto's pitching is poo-poo. I'm a child. We are children. Seemed like the Phillies kind of mailed this one in. John, it kind of, yeah. Yeah. So what's going on? Like, I don't want to. Alec Boehm? 0 for his last 9 now? Is that the way that's the way that went down? Come on, Boehmer. I was looking at it going into extra innings. The Phillies only had 1 runner in scoring position through 9 innings. I think it was Christian Pache. Scusi. Yeah, it was the only one they had in scoring position. Going into, I think it was going into the 9th inning. They only had 1 guy in scoring position. Your only home runs came courtesy of Your only runs came courtesy of solo home runs from Nick Castellanos and Edmundo Sosa. Come on. Oh, did his ERA balloon like that? Really? Oh, that sucks. Crazy. Thank you. Alvarado has gone from a .97 ERA, this time lasting to a 3.63. Oh, from last season. Horrible. DFA Soto. Yeah, Soto's not exactly making friends right now, unfortunately. 824 Baj. What's going on? Umps and MLB suck and need fines. That being said, terrible loss, terrible team, to a terrible team. Can't win them all, but this was trash. Thank you. I'll say it's stupid. You could say it's trash, and we could be simpatico when it comes to that. Jose Perez. What's going on, Jose Perez? Can't win them all. Tomorrow we start new winning streak. There you go. There you go. Total BS. Still winning this series, though. Mark, thank you. Mark, 1982. Hell yeah. I'm with you there, man. Sir Sketchable. Don't understand why they didn't just put Cody and Harper's spot at first base. Keep everyone else where they were at. He's a lot closer to Harper at the plate than Mr. Foul Bunts. Yeah, they tried at least two different occasions tonight with Johan Rojas trying to lay down some bunts. Yee! Wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Timothy B. What's up, Timothy B? Farzetta, we keep saying that Thompson isn't a great manager. He's a good manager, and they win in spite of him. His bad moves have and will continue to cost the team. Well, I haven't called him I don't know who's calling him a great manager. He's a good manager. Wait, we keep saying that Tom isn't a great manager. Yeah, he isn't a great manager. Okay. He's a good manager. Okay, we are on the same page. I'm sorry, Timothy B. All right, yeah, he's a good manager. I don't think they win necessarily in spite of him. If they would have won tonight, I think it would have been in spite of him. I don't like, here's things I don't like. For even defensive purposes, I would have just rather put Cody Clemens in at first base. After Bryce Harper I'm like, if your idea of you don't want to hurt with Trey Turner being out, if your philosophy is you don't want to damage 2 positions. So in other words, you lose your shortstop, so I'm going to make my second baseman my shortstop and the guy off the bench and Sosa be my second baseman. I don't want to hurt 2 positions. Well, to hell with that. If you put your best player out there. Now, Sosa's been great. Don't get me wrong. Sosa's been great. But if that's your philosophy, then why are you moving everybody else around? Why, if one guy's getting thrown out, are you then affecting 4 other positions? Why are you doing that? If your philosophy is, I don't want to hurt other positions, then just put Cody Clemens at first base. That's all you got to do. That's it. I don't got to move Bohm, by far my best third baseman. Why the hell am I doing that? So I didn't like I understand the lefty righty. I get it. I much rather, for defensive purposes, knowing that Block isn't going to be staying out there for a long time anyway, I much rather would have put Cody Clemens at first base. Then Edmundo Sosa has been hot. I don't care about the righty lefty in that situation. You let him hit. I like Brandon Marsh. He's fine, but I let Edmundo Sosa continue to eat. The other thing is that Rob Thompson did win 2 challenges. Now, it shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world when you do have instant replay and you have that benefit, but he still had to correct the umpires 2 different occasions, and it should have been 3 because the umpires were terrible in this. But yeah, you and I are on the same page. He's a good manager. I think he's a good manager. But one thing that you just can't let go, or excuse me, just gloss over, is the idea that this Phillies team has played great under him. They played great under him. Do I think he cost them big time in that series against Diamondbacks? Absolutely. But he's doing something right for this team to be winning. And Dave Dombrowski mentioned this when they fired Joe Girardi and they gave the reins over to Rob Thompson. And I believe in this probably in baseball more so than any other sport, is that, yes, you could talk about a bad manager costing you 7 to 10 games and hardly ever really winning you a game. I know that's what a lot of people talk about. I don't get into that as much because if you have a manager that just really kind of creates great culture in the clubhouse and guys feel comfortable and guys aren't pressing and you're open and honest with guys like Rob Thompson is, I think that goes a long, long way. And it's one of those things you just can't measure, the overall effect of a manager in baseball with the environment they create and the atmosphere they create in the clubhouse. And when they fired Joe Girardi and they gave it to Rob Thompson, one of the things, and I bang this drum as well, one of the things that he did do was kind of give this team back to the players. In a lot of instances, that's great. So maybe one few, maybe it's bad. But one thing about Bryce Harper today, I do not think he should have been thrown out of the game. There's not a lot Rob Thompson could do about that, unfortunately. What's up, Remo? How you doing, Remo? Okay. Remo or Remo? Seems like quite a few of these 15 losses have been like this one. Bunch of close losses. Yeah, I would agree with that. Now we have another. Hey, what's up, Vincent? They lost. The bats were quiet. Kept Castellanos and Sosa. Or except for Castellanos and Sosa. Rockies dude pitched well tonight. Yep, of course. So did Sanchez. Yeah. Oh, this is a new one. Leland Long, what's going on? Umps didn't decide the game. 2 calls overturned in favor of the Phillies. Strike calls at the plate were affecting both teams. Rookies on the Rockies came through against a very good team. Yes, they did. Credit to the Rockies. However, Bryce Harper shouldn't have been thrown out of the game. Bryce Harper's best career numbers are at Coors Field, like I'm sure they are for a lot of people. I would have loved to have Bryce Harper get 3 or 4 more plate appearances. John Murray, Harper should be fired up tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I hope so. He should be fired up tomorrow. 2 home runs. 2 home runs for Harper tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, we'll get into tomorrow in a second and where this Phillies team is, what they got coming up tomorrow for game 2 of this 3-game series. We'll be back in a second. You're Locked On Phillies postcast. Oh, FanDuel. Hope you guys are having a good time with FanDuel. Winner take all time in FanDuel with the NBA and NHL. And FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home big wins of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Any winning $5 bet. Like, for instance, if you want to hit Bryce Harper, you want to bet on Bryce Harper hitting a home run tomorrow? Might be a safe bet at Coors Field. He's got 7 home runs in 30 games at Coors Field, and he's going to be fired up, as we just reported. So make sure you hit up FanDuel. That's $150 on spreads, money lines, player props, and so much more when you hit up FanDuel. FanDuel. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Looking ahead for your Philadelphia Phillies and what they got going on, they're going to look to bounce back. Now that they're just 37-14. They have a 9:10 start time tomorrow night. Dakota Hudson, right-handed pitcher, goes for the Colorado Rockies. He is 1-7 on the season with a 5.89 ERA. So he's probably going to go 7 innings, allowing 1 run on 2 hits, and the only run is going to be a Bryce Harper home run. But he's a right-handed pitcher. He'll be going for the Rockies tomorrow. Aaron Nola will be on the bump for the Phillies. He's 6-2 on the season with a 3.05 ERA as that ERA keeps on sinking. Back-to-back starts where he's gone at least 7 innings. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. 2 earned runs, 3 total on 2 hits against the Washington Nationals. 2 solo home runs, of course. 3 walks. 7-inning performance against the Washington Nationals. So that's what the Phillies got coming up tomorrow. 9:10 start time. But who's your boy? Huh? Who's your boy? I'm your boy. I'll be with you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like. Make sure you guys hit subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Much appreciated. I'm sure Connor Thomas will be breaking this down for you guys as well. But I'll be with you guys tomorrow night after the 9:10 start time. Hopefully the Phillies bounce right back. They haven't lost back-to-back games since that Red series. They've only lost back-to-back games twice this season. Let's not make a habit of it. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Be back with you guys tomorrow night after that 9:10 start. See you guys then. Bye.